Hello, good evening, and welcome to the Last Movie Outpost for all of your movie news, reviews, and everything all about film. Welcome to the Outpost Frequencies. I'm back this week. Last week I had a work due, which was
Is that what the kids are calling it?
It's the equivalent of what my hell would be, but it was basically there was free food, so that's my Achilles heel. If there's free food, I'm going to go. Hello, Yoda. How are you this week, my friend?
Wonderful. I like I said, I went and saw Superman, which we'll talk about later.
I've heard about this film. It's the new film out, isn't it? Sorry, a Superman, a super person.
Yeah, I don't know. There hasn't been a lot of hype on it, so I'm surprised that it's doing so well.
But yeah, you went to see that. I'm waiting for streaming. We will get into this, but yeah. So, what did you make of it? In a very summed up sentence before we get to the main article.
I said it's a super mess, but a sincere one.
Interesting. Like I say, I'm still going to wait. I've had a couple of friends who are saying, "Are you going to come and see it?" And I'm really sort of like, no, I'll wait for a little while. But let's crack on with the live stream. So we've got a few bits and pieces to talk about this week. The first one is conflict brewing over cinema pre-show length. Now, I am one of those people that does not like the pre-show before the movie. I don't like advertising at all, and I will avoid it.
Define the advertising. Are you including trailers in that?
This is true. So, particularly adverts. When adverts come on my TV, I always mute them because I have no interest in them. I'll come back to that later. But no, trailers, I don't mind, because obviously a trailer is a spoiler. You know, he sets up a film and you think, oh, yes, I want to see that. I don't want to buy the new Lexus because it's kind of something it's something personally I will never do. I'm not really interested in how cold Pepsi Cola is. Other Cokes are available and whatnot. And so all these adverts they're just wasted on me. I don't like them. So I know the last time I went to the cinema, I saw F1 a couple of weeks ago. And I knew that the film started at like 2 PM because I can't go to the cinema late because I'll fall asleep these days. Oh, lovely, Superman. Starts at 8 o'clock.
Yeah. People toss some popcorn in your mouth.
But yeah, I knew that I could actually get there about 20 past 2 because I booked my tickets. And so I knew exactly where I was sitting. But then also I knew I was going to miss a good 20 minutes worth of adverts, which are going to be of no interest to me whatsoever. Back in my day, I hate saying that, but back in my day, you had 10 minutes worth of adverts for local restaurants. It's just a stone's throw away from this auditorium, the old Pearl and Dean. And then there was about 5 minutes, 10 minutes of trailers, and then the movie started. That was it. Now what you get is about 20 minutes of adverts, but then the trailers are mixed in with the adverts. So you don't get to the end of the trailers and think, oh, great, the film's going to start. There's then another advert for women's pads if you want to play tennis, but have the occasional leak, and it's just kind of...
Oh, no, I got to write that down.
I said women's pads, come on, man. So Stark wrote up quite a good article about the whole thing, and some of the feedback was very interesting because like I say, a lot of people say the same thing. When you went to see Superman, did you have a lot of trailers and stuff there?
Yeah. It's not just the trailers, which there are a lot of them, although I don't know if it's as many or any more than it used to be, but it's getting to the trailers. You got all this other bullshit ahead of it. Oddly, it's funny because I noticed that, when you come into the place, if it's early enough, there's nothing on the screen. Nothing.
Oh, really? See, funny enough, we do. My local cinema has adverts for the cinema chain, has adverts for...
They have some of that. They start that early enough, but there is a period where there's nothing going on. And I remember back in the day, as you say, that they used to, like, as soon as the movie went off and before the trailers came on, they just had slideshow. That's all they did, slideshow the entire time. And then the trailers would start when the movie was supposed to start, and then you move on. And I feel like that seemed like a reasonable way to do it. If you got there early, you would see these adverts. If you got there on time, you'd see the trailers, and everybody was happy. And Now, I mean, obviously slides are a thing of the past and all that. I'm sure they could put a PowerPoint up there if they wanted, but now it's all this welcome to movie show before the movie. And then you do the trailers. Then you do another advert, because now they got an advert. They're using the don't turn on your phone, don't text, all that. And they brand that.
Yeah, somehow. And
then they got Nicole Kidman comes on to advertise the theater that you're already in. Like, fuck off, Nicole Kidman. I'm already here. You don't need to keep upselling me. What do you want me to do?
Welcome to AMC Cinemas. Yeah, I know. I just walked in the lobby. It said it there.
I'm here. What do you want? I'm in the goddamn seat. And then the trailers, or then the movie finally starts.
By the way you're talking, it's like you get the chairs in and then they strap you in and then do like a, what's his name? Clockwork Orange.
Clockwork, yeah.
And I mean, I miss as well, out of all that, the days of queuing up to go to the cinema as well. I mean, I remember the Phantom Menace, I've got a photo of it somewhere, but I mean, me and my mate queued up all day so we can see it sort of later in the evening. I think it was like a midnight show and we got there at like 10 in the morning or something stupid. But then you had a whole line of people going around the block and you would talk to these people and you would get chatting and, people brought lightsabers and you had fights and, all that. Now it's just, there's your movie ticket, see, you've booked it all up. You don't have to queue, just walk in and go straight in. It's not the same.
Well, to be fair, is there such a thing as a blockbuster anymore? And what I mean by that is they called it a blockbuster because the line went around the block. Yeah. Right? When's the last time you've seen a line for the movies?
Oh, like I say, never.
So that part of it, I mean, with all the content, the streaming and things ending up on, I don't see that happening ever again. Superman made $123 million domestic. It looks like 200 million worldwide, which
makes me laugh. That whole thing of, it's made so-and-so, because I'm looking at it and going, that means nothing to me.
Well, it's a respectable amount.
We sold over 400,000 Coca-Colas at so-and-so.
Yeah. Well, I'm just saying it's a respectable.
Oh, yeah, obviously. But it's just, again, it's not, to me, hype of the movie was having a packed out theatre with people cheering and jeering and everything else. And then when the movie starts, everybody goes silent. And then, there's clapping at the end, apart from the occasional bit where you might clap in the middle and stuff. But again, you just don't seem to see that.
Well, my point is, 20 years ago, the second Pirates movie broke the record at 135 million domestic. And that's, with inflation and everything else, less theaters, everybody went and saw it. Now you make 125 million, given how many more, I mean, there were empty seats. I mean, it was reasonably full, but there were empty seats in our place. And I'm like going, so the blockbuster thing, I think, is gone, is my point. As far as the ads and everything ahead of the movie, I mean, to a certain extent, it's like, well, if you're going to see a movie at 7 o'clock and it's not going to start till 7:30, and they have assigned seating because they didn't used to have that back in the day. Now it's like, okay, so I just readjust. That's fine. I'll get there at 7:15. I'll be there in time for the trailers. And I don't have to watch that stuff.
You readjust and conform to their standards.
Well,
fight the power, man. Fight the
power. What's my alternative? I come in there early and force fed their M&M's commercials. Fuck that.
Oh, yeah. I do like, just going to the comments from the Last Movie Outpost, I do like the comments on this because Claude Dempsey said, all they have to do is state the movie start time and the opening time and then list them separately. I sat down to watch 28 Years at 1 p.m. and 28 years later the film started.
Well, the truth is they will never do that. They want you to be there. They're going to put the 2 p.m. start
if
time.
They realize that, if advertisers realized that they were doing that, then advertisers wouldn't pay to advertise.
Right, because they know everybody would come in late. So
it's a weird irony, though, because I always think to myself, if somebody has paid to do advertising, that just means they're more expensive. And in this day and age, when everybody's worried about the cost of living and everything else, we've got over here. This is a can of Pringles. I moaned about this on Twitter the other day. Oh, a can of Pringles. I still remember when a can of Pringles was £1. Happy days, £1, love it. I saw some the other day. They were like £3.25 for a can. And I keep thinking, yes, because they spend money on advertising, which costs them millions and millions of pounds. And so then they have to be more expensive. And all these brand names, I think to myself, if you've advertised, you're going to be more expensive. So I'm not going to buy your product. I'm going to go for a cheaper one.
Well, that's part of it. Obviously, the money and the inflation. I don't want to get into an economics discussion here, but the COVID printing of money and all the inflation that we had is a big part of that. It wasn't like Pringles wasn't advertising back in the 80s or 90s, it's all the commercials.
This is true, actually, yeah. Do you know what? No, I'm thought of it like that, but yeah, you are absolutely right, yeah.
But yeah, I don't know. I think the funny thing is that the advertising would probably be more successful if theaters never went to assigned seats. Because if I could buy my ticket ahead of time and I have an assigned seat, then it really doesn't matter when I get there. So they kind of F themselves over because people know they got their seat. Whereas, back, when you and I, it was like fight for the right seat. Yeah, exactly, you want to get in. Otherwise, you were in the front row doing, doing that shit.
What's going on your side of the screen? I think they're fighting. Oh, yeah.
Yeah. So you don't have to worry about that anymore if you plan ahead. So it's like the advertising is probably less effective than it was when everybody free for all. Get jump in, get your seat, have a Mad Max style fight over the middle seat.
I used to, funny story about this. I used to do mystery shopping at the cinema. So weirdly, I had to go into the cinema and write down all the adverts and trailers that were being shown before a film to make sure that the cinema was advertising them.
Sure.
And I used to, on several occasions, I used to know the managers, obviously, in my local. And say, for example, we had like a 15-screen complex. And when this film was shown on the last one, I'd do that one last and stay and watch the film for free. But what was always funny was it was back in the days when people used to queue up. And I can't remember which films it was. It happened on a couple of them, but I'd done all the trailers for the first couple, and then the last one, I'd get there. I'd get there early and sort of say, "All right, mate. All right, yeah, I'm just going to go in to get ready for the trailers." Yeah, no worries. So all these people were queuing up, hundreds of people, and I go into a completely empty cinema and sort of like, okay, this is the best seat. Yes, before everybody else got let in. Yeah, that was good fun.
Yeah, I remember that. That was definitely. A free-for-all, it was a gladiator style thing.
13 and 14J are where you get the best sound. You got to get in there.
Well, if you see the right movie, and you're fighting for the seat, like, you see a Star Trek and the guys come in with the Vulcan thing, da, 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 da. It's a pre-show, it's great. Much better than, watching M&M commercials. Half the time I can't tell what the commercial is for. It's like, is it M&M's or is it a phone? Is it a Nokia? Is it Apple? Google? What the hell's going on here?
I don't want to call out any professionalism, as we know we both are, but I was leaving a blank pause so that I can edit this up later, and I'd switched to Red Sonja. I'm just saying.
What do you care? I'm the one cutting it up this week.
Oh, yeah, that's true. Actually, then I'm going to fiddle around with all of them.